Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1. I have my next video out here for you, and I'm kind of excited to share this subject with you. I usually don't get into the word too much. I share some things here and there, and a lot of that reason is there's a lot of contention between people on the truth and the word and things, and so the Lord has had me steer away from a lot of that, a lot of controversy back and forth. I mean, I do mention things here and there, and I do mention some scriptures here and there, but it's mainly His thing as He wants me to share what the enemy's doing, and then also talk about him and so in a relationship with him, and that he gives me all this stuff, and that there's a number of reasons for all that. My last video, it was like 2.5 hours long. I want to do something a little bit differently than that, even though I encourage you greatly to watch that video, and I'm going to include some my links to previous videos about this time frame in the description box, so you can check those out as well to support this time frame, the things I'm talking about 7:1 through 7:11 all the way up to 7:13. Okay, so July 1st through July 13th, basically. And I'm going to go over some things, some new things, some different things about that support that in this video. But I wanted to cover this subject of what is the real Shavuot / Pentecost, because it's really important to me. I've been studying the Word for over 30 years. Excuse me. By the way, when I clear my throat, it's actually just clearing my throat. It's not some weird signal or something. Some people actually believe that. And I've had to get rid of them because I'm just like, what? That's weird. I mean, there might be some weird people out there that do stuff like that, but that's not me. I'm pretty much straightforward. So, I've been studying the Word for a long time, and, understanding, a lot of the things in researching the Word, as far as, using a concordance and interlinear. I mean, all these different things that I've used, plus, understanding, Greek, Hebrew, figures of speech, idioms in the Bible. I mean, all kinds of stuff to understand how God's trying to communicate properly to people and what it's really trying to say. And that's been very important to me to do biblical research for a long time. Again, almost 30 years. So it's important that I've also wondered about, is it a feast day that's going to be when we leave, or is it going to be a hidden day? Or is it a feast day that's a hidden day, or whatever it is. So I'm just going to throw out my take on this right now, how I've seen this for this time frame. And when I started looking into this, I could not believe how it matched up with what I was saying. And I didn't look at it ahead of time really for this time frame. I just did not. And so I'm going to show you my reasoning on this and why I think this could be it. So again, I don't want any argument about it in comments or anything like that. I have no interest in that. And you have another opinion, that's fine. There's all kinds of opinions out there. There's many opinions as what's. So let me go to this. Let me just get this started. So calendars. There's all kinds of calendars out there. There's God's creation calendar, which I believe ultimately is the real calendar, which is based on the sun, moon, stars, and the Bible. And it's based on also full moons being the new moon. And that's actually in several translations, several Bible translations, where the full moon is the new moon. Wow, that's because I got a little Simon's going on in the background. If maybe you can hear that, I don't know. But I guess this is an important video. So, yeah, and then, there's Enoch calendars, there's, all that kind of stuff. And some of them have some validity to them and things. But I want to talk to you about what the God signs in the heavens are pointing to. Okay, so and I'm going to show you what calendar I think that is. So when we look at blood moons, for example, which is amazing, okay, and I first got into this whole thing 5 years ago from God saying to me, and the Lord saying to me, basically, blood moons. And I was like, okay. And, I was actually, it's a long story. I was actually in a hotel. I wasn't working at the time for a number of reasons. The Lord was having me, He just basically shut everything down so I could just focus on understanding these details about 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago now. That's been a little ways over 5 years ago now. And He just wanted me to focus on these details, starting with this, and that these blood moons were on Passover and Sukkot each year, the first feast and the last feast. And I knew there was something to that, as well as not only being the feast, but also how God just had this amazing timing. Now, at that time, I assumed it was on a certain calendar, but I didn't know. And over time, I understood a little bit more about what these timings were and what calendar these things fell on more precisely. So this was from 2014, 2015. So you have Passover, which is amazing. This is amazing. These are the tetrad blood moons, and then of course this solar eclipse as well in the center. But there was other things as well in this whole thing. There's actually 8 different things that happened in this time frame as far as eclipses and things. So I'm not going to get into all that right now. But so then also when you go back to, for example, 1948 to 1950, or even the 4950 blood moons is what really I'm after. Again, first feast, last feast, first feast, last feast for 1949 and 1950, marking out the birth just after the birth, or maybe that's when God's really marking out the birth of of Israel. So and so all these different dates, how these would possibly land exactly on a feast day, and then what calendar is that based on? Well, in the beginning I thought, okay, that's the normal standard Jewish calendar, right? That the Jewish government and the Israel government basically promotes and everything. But no, it's not. It's something else. Also, when you talk about Revelation 12 sign, for example, there's one that hits it right on the nose as well. Any of these kind of things, that's the Torah calendar. And I basically look at the standard Jewish calendar, and it misses a few of these things by a day at least. Not all of them. Some hit right on, and so a lot of people assume it's the standard Jewish calendar, but it's not. It's, even though this is a Hebrew calendar, the Torah calendar, and they claim it's more accurate, God is apparently using this because there's nothing else. Let me go back here. There's nothing else that these are synced to, and we know that God did this, so that's my reasoning for it. Okay, and because He wants to speak to the Jewish people because of what's coming up in the tribulation and things, that it's very important for Him to be able to speak to them. So He'll speak in any way He can, and it's not necessarily through the completely accurate calendar that He has. Okay, it's just, this is not, because they're not aware of it for the most part. Maybe the higher ups are. They have it hidden in things probably, but most of them, most people that understand this stuff, they're not aware that that's the way He really communicates, through the real sun, moon, and stars and the Word. So going forward here, so let's get into why this is. So Leviticus 23. Now, basically, just to summarize real quick, I mean, it's saying to start. It gives you the whole instructions in Leviticus 23. The fact that people would believe that 50 days after Passover is Pentecost, and that's where you get the Pentecost, Penta, which is 50, Pentecost from, is amazing to me, because that's not what Leviticus even says. So people have to reread the Bible sometimes, or read it for the first time maybe in certain areas to see what let me give you an example. A lot of people think there was 2 of every kind of animal that went onto the ark, with Noah and everything. That's not correct. Read it again. That's what has been accepted. That's what tradition says. That's not what it says. Read it again. There's one spot where it says that, another spot where it elaborates on that. It says there were more than that, but people just believe it. They believe, hey, 2 of a male and a female of every kind went on the ark. That's not accurate whatsoever. There's so many reasons why that isn't, and it's in the Bible. So people just need to reread the Bible or read it for the first time. I don't know. There's all kinds of things like that are, truth versus tradition that are been, obscured. So people basically believe tradition and don't even realize that that's not the truth. It's not even what the Bible says. So basically it'll start on first fruits without getting into every single scripture. But then from first fruits, you start on the first Sabbath after first fruits. And then this is a really important scripture here in Leviticus 23:16, even unto the morrow, and I'm using the King James just for a reason here, even unto the morrow, after the 7th Sabbath shall ye number 50 days, and ye shall offer a new meat offering unto the Lord. So it's showing that there's 7 Sabbaths, so it's the first Sabbath after first fruits is the first one. Okay, now we'll go to that. First Sabbath after first fruits. So there's first fruits on the Torah calendar. It's right here, and it's showing it's the 9th going into the 10th of April, but the 9th basically, or you can say the 10th, however you want to say it. It's weird because they believe that a sunset is the change of every day. That's actually not correct biblically as well. On God's creation calendar, it's sunrise, because the lights rule the time. So God is not it says in the Bible, God does not change like shifting shadows. And that's also a reference to how He does time. The enemy does time by shifting shadows. The shadow on the moon makes a new moon. The shadow on a sundial makes the time. And that's not what God does. He does the lights as the, the indicators. So sunrise would be the light in the morning. A full moon would be the start of a new month, for example, a new month, or even the full moon and other stars and things, and the way they're aligned and everything. And I've shared this before, but you can get into more details. In fact, I might leave a link in the description box if you want to know more about it with a particular ministry that shares a lot of things that I know to be true. And he does a really great job. Michael Shavuot, he does a really great job of sharing this stuff. You want to look into it more. But anyway, so on first fruits is right here. So the first Sabbath after first fruits is right here. You see it says that, so the Omer is one. This is day one. It's also about counting the Omer. The Omer starts on day one of the first fruits. And then so the second day of the Omer, which is the first Sabbath, right there, it says first Sabbath. And then you're going down here because the Sabbaths are on the right side here. Then let's go all the way over to the seventh Sabbath. So this is the sixth Sabbath. I'm just skipping, I'm just going right to it here. Sixth Sabbath, seventh Sabbath. Then it said on the morrow you start the 50-day count. So that's number one right here. And that is May 23rd / 24th. So I'm just going to say 23rd because that's really the day it starts technically. Okay, so we're going into, so from May 23rd and you add 50 days, you get to, what a shock, July 11th. Okay, and again, that's just the way I am looking at it and seeing what I see. Now, I'm not saying I know exactly how it is, and even if that's even the day, but I've been sharing a lot about, thank heaven, it's 7-Eleven and all these details, and I'm going to share more about 7-Eleven. And if there's a contender out there for the time, this is it in my mind. So let's keep going here. Now, again, I'm sharing about the hidden day or hidden time frame of 13 days. Again, this is the time frame right here, the hidden time frame. So March right here was basically on the Gregorian calendar. March is the third month, but to the elites, the third month is really May, which is the fifth month to us. And then the seventh month, okay, to us in Gregorian is really the fifth month to the elites. You see how they're pointing to something in the middle here. In fact, like I shared, watch my last few videos. Trump alluded to it when he said 7-Eleven instead of 9/11, all that stuff. So what I'm showing is, and I'm even showing in all kinds of things in media and rituals and all kinds of stuff that they're doing. And what I'm going to show more here in this video is how they overlap. They're showing 3/11, 5/11, and 7/11, or they're showing 5/11 and 7/11, or 3/11 and 5/11. I mean, of course, the 5/1s are in there and all that stuff too. But I'm just saying, generally, the 5/11s is considered the birth because that's really when the tsunamis happen and when there's no turning back. And that's really when the portals open and all this stuff starts to change. The 11s are the twin attacks on both coasts, and that's why it's 1 and 1, just like the Twin Towers. It was 1 and 1. Twins, attack on each coast, and then they're going to go down to 1 from 11, from 1 and 1 down to 1. That's why they love these times. So anyway, that's just to reiterate that what I've shared before in my previous videos. Now, and I've talked about also how 9/11 is also 3/11, 5/11, and 7/11. Well, how is that? Well, because it all relates to 5/11. Well, why is that? Well, 9/11, very simply, is September 11th. And September, okay, is septem, which is in Latin, is 7. It's 7. And again, also, Trump said 7/11 instead of 9/11, referring to the 9/11. And that was a code as well as revealing the actual day, I believe. So when he said 7/11, he was saying 9/11 because 9/11 is September 11th. Septem is 7. So that's the key. And then now we have, what about 8/11? And I've said all these are the same. They're all 5/11. Why? Well, 8/11 is also 7/11. How is that? This is really crazy. It's super simple, though. Okay, when you go from January 1st, and I'll use this year, for example, to August 11th, that gets you 223 days. Well, imagine that. That's 7 months, right here, down here, 7 months and 11 days. Okay, that's how 8/11 is 7/11. So you go 8 months and 11 days. I'm sorry. You go to August 11th. It's really not 8 months, 11 days because you didn't finish August. So you finished July, and that's the 7 months, and you go 11 days into August only, and that's 7/11. You notice how it's also, wait, let me do this. 322 right here backwards. That's not a coincidence. Skull and Bones, 322, Day of Death. I'm going to show you more about that, how that's backwards. And then also 322, the 322nd day of the year, ends up being November 17th, when in a sense is a 11-7 or 7-11 as well, because they look at it, 1 can be a slash or a 1. So November 17th, you could look at it as 11/7. And that's really crazy. Okay, so that's how those are connected. Okay, it's really crazy. So I want to show you something about Gilbert Gottfried. Last year, this guy, he's a Jew. He's a Kabbalist, just like Roseanne Barr did a thing last year as well, where she warned about Lag BaOmer and fire and everything like that, and that was all coded as well as this. This is massively coded with all kinds of gematria and things, and first and last letter coding, like I'm going to show you here. Okay, so let me just go ahead and play it, and you can hear what he says. And again, each phrase is gematria, and you can hear how it's just doesn't sound quite right. If you listen to the details of each word, it's not grammatically correct and everything. And that's a hint that's gematria and things. I'm going to get into all this, but he does a warning last year, okay, about 8/11, okay, and I'm going to show you what he's really saying.
Hi, I'm Gilbert Gottfried. This is for San Francisco, being sent by HARP. Stay off the Golden Gate Bridge on August 11th, or I'll shake you down. Here I come. Shout out to Clorps.
Okay, this guy's a freak. Anyway, hopefully you heard that. I have my volume turned way up here. Maybe I might try turning my volume down a bit and see. It might have been too loud. Let me try one more time, just for the ones. Maybe let me try one more time. Maybe not as loud would be better.
Hi, I'm Gilbert Gottfried. This is for San Francisco, being sent by HARP. Stay off the Golden Gate Bridge on August 11th, or I'll shake you down. Here I come. Shout out to Clorps.
Okay, so I'm gonna break this down. Believe it or not, a lot of these things. But let me go here real quick. Okay, so he's talking about 8/11, but guess what? He's also talking about. He's really talking about 7/11 in code. And like I said, I already showed you that already, where 8/11 is 7 months and 11 days into the year. So already he's already talking about 7/11, whether he knows it or not. And who knows how much these guys know? These buffoons, these minions of the enemy. I don't know how much this guy knows. He's an idiot. I mean, seriously. And to say these kind of things, and it's about destruction and people's lives and all kinds of stuff. I mean, God forgive him for his idiocy and his, whatever he's a part of. And who knows what he's done to get there. I mean, a lot of these people, they have to do all kinds of crazy stuff, sacrifices and different stuff to get where they're at. And he probably had to do this to go to another level or even stay relevant. Who knows? Probably with rituals and different things as well. Who knows? I don't even want to think about it. Okay, but let me get into this here. So, Gilbert Gottfried, Gottfried, but got fried. He got fried. He's going to get fried if he doesn't change his ways. Maybe it's too late. Gilbert Jeremy Gottfried, born February 28th, 1955. Now, this is really crazy. There's so much in here, even in his birthday. Okay, and I'm going to move on to that. And let's see, was I going to do something with that? Yes, I'm going to do this. Let me do this right now real quick. So February is the second month in the Gregorian, and then 28 is 10. 2 plus 8 is 10, take away the 0. That's 2 plus 1 is 3. So this is 3. And then we have 19 is 10, and take away the 0, which is 1, and 5 is 1. That's 311 right there. I hope you see that. But that's 311. In his birthday is 311. Okay, and that's how it also equates as well. Now I'm going to show you more here. So his name fully, Gilbert Jeremy Gottfried, in full reduction, it's one of the 4 base ciphers, is 118. Okay, it's like he was born to do this in a sense. They picked him for that, or he changed his name at some point to meet a lot of these things early on or something. I mean, just crazy. This is amazing how this stuff works sometimes, how these people are completely put in the system that way so they can be a tool for the enemy. Okay, next, his name also, just without the middle name, that's how he's known normally, is Gilbert Gottfried, and this is in the Aleister Crowley cipher, Again, Lester Crowley came up with his own cipher, one of the biggest Satanists ever, and wrote many books. And that is 169, which 6 plus 9 is 15, so that's 115. Okay, so we have in his day of birth, we have 311, okay? And then in his name right there, we have 118 and 115. You see how this is kind of meshing together? This happens a lot. And I've shown in a lot of my videos how these are the same days. They're just packaged differently and shown differently. But they do this so you don't know which one is which. And I've narrowed it down to this being their day because it's their month. But on the Gregorian, it's July 11th, or the 11th day of the 7th month on the Gregorian, okay? And I'm going to prove that more and more here as I go through here. Also, that year, last year, his birthday again, on his birthday last year was February 28th. They do this a lot with celebrities. Whenever they are involved in this stuff as far as showing dates and things, they use their date of birth, and also, like I said, his date of birth is 3/11 already. But that was last year up to July 11th, which is the day he's really talking about, I'm saying, is 134 days. Now, why is that important? Well, 134 is big for a particular date, and that is Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av, or the 9th of Av, is a big time for Jews because that's in their history. That's when the temples were destroyed. It's a big destruction time. Day, I should say. It's a big destruction day in history. And so that's happened several times. Many disasters have happened actually on Tisha B'Av. And I'm just going to mention the temples, the first and the second temple. But there's far more than that. So, but this is crazy. So also Tisha B'Av in Jewish gematria is also 9/11. Okay. What a shock. Okay. And then also, a lot of people don't realize this, but 9th of Av, the 9th Av is the 11th month on the Hebrew calendar. So 9th of Av really means 9/11. It's crazy if you didn't know that. So this is a big deal. And why is Tisha B'Av so important? Because last year, 8/11 was Tisha B'Av, right in the middle of Tisha B'Av. So they were pointing to Tisha B'Av as a just a destruction day. And then, so it had a lot of weight last year, and there was a lot of things connected to it. The enemy does this many times. He connects a lot of things to 3/11 and 5/11 and 8/11 and 9. Of course, now we know 9/11. A lot of people know all about that, of course. So there's a lot of things connected to all these numbers, and that was a big one. There was so many things, and so several people thought something could happen then. A lot of people thought about 3/11 or 11/3. I mean, a lot of that kind of stuff. But I'm showing you what I think the real code is. Okay, and then so we're talking about Tisha B'Av. This year, Tisha B'Av, okay, is on July 29th. And 2 plus 9 is 11, so that's a code for July 11th as well. Now, that's a possibility, although I'm not saying it. Now, I'm throwing it out there. Now, it could be that day. It could be 13 days going into that day and then 2 days after. It's possible. But I'm saying that there's far more evidence that's going to be July 1st through the 13th, but that would be my backup. And then after that, I have nothing. I think I'm pretty much done. So that's what I'm showing with you right now. So here we go. Next thing is, so I'm going to break down everything he said, okay? And this is all code. This, like I said, you're going to be blown away by this if you understand this at all. So first of all, I'm Gilbert Gottfried. That's what he said. So that phrase, again, they're in phrases, and you got to find the phrases and things. And that right away is 216. That's Stinky B.O., the 44th Prez, as I call him, or Barack Hussein Obama, whatever you want to call him. And then 117, 117, 117. And then this is crazy too. 126 is when Kobe Bryant was killed on this last January 26th. And it has to do with code. It's two things, I believe. Okay, it's if you read it backwards, it's 621 exactly. Okay, 621 exactly, and that's the eclipse that's happening in a few days. Okay, from today, it's going to be another week or week and a half, whatever it is. Okay, so the eclipse happened on, and that's beginning his birth. That's announcing his birth, basically, this annual eclipse, I believe. Okay, it's also, if you read it as backwards as 612, I'm sorry, 6, yeah, whatever. That's what I'm trying to make a point. There's a number of things with that, but whatever. And then 193 is the 193rd day of the year. which is the final attack day. Okay, and that is and that's 9/11. I mean, that's wait, did I have that right? Yeah, it's that's July 11th as well. So, I think I have that right. Hold on one second. Let me pause this for a second. Okay, I just want to make sure I was saying the right thing. Yes. Okay, so the 193rd day of the year, only on a leap year, is July 11th. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. I was getting confused with the July 13th. I'm thinking, was that it? But I've said this many times. Sometimes I have little brain farts here and there, but I wanted to make sure I was saying the right information here. So the next phrase he says is this is for San Francisco. Okay, and so it's 216. 117, okay, 216, again, Sticky BO again, 117, this is 2 plus 9 is 11, 117, and 117, and then 126. I mean, you see a pattern here. This is insane. And then if you basically go 7 plus 8 is 15, okay, and then 1 and 2, that's 117. Okay, it's just how you break it down, but it's right there. Okay, so that's how they do this. They compress. They call them compressing numbers, and they love 3 or 4 digit numbers in gematria because they can hide several messages in one thing. For example, okay, this is 117, so that would be 11/7, right? Or the 11th day of the 7th month. But also it's 11 times 7, so it's 77 or 77. They love that, and there's so many things in all these. And without getting into everything, I'm just getting to the main core, the message I want to share. Okay, and then he says, being sent by HAARP. Okay, so you could use HAARP as far as the atmospheric heater, basically, that HAARP is the weapon that the government has created. But there's hundreds of them, and they're all over the world. And they use that, and they can actually use that to control a lot of things, even people eventually and everything. Even now, I mean, they have the technology go right into your skull and give you thoughts and emotions and stuff. I'm not getting into all that. That's crazy. So that's when people think they're going to be able to stand up against these people and without the Spirit of God, forget about it. Just forget about it. They can actually melt the guns in your hands with the versions of HAARP that they have. They have hundreds of them now. They had the original one that was in Alaska, but it's not HAARP. That's the kick. In fact, that's not even how that's going to be destroyed. So he uses this as code. So I took it at face value at HAARP, like it's just a harp, because he says harp. So if you think about a harp that you play, because that's what that's what he's saying. It could have been HAARP. Okay, that's possible, but that's not how it's going to be destroyed. The Golden Gate Bridge is going to be destroyed by a tsunami wave. I know this by all this predictive programming stuff in iPad Goat, everything I've seen, everything I know, what I've been shown by the Lord. It's going to be destroyed by a tsunami wave on the 11th day, whatever day that is. But I think I know what it is. I think it's July 11th. So being sent by HAARP is him saying, also he's saying 7584 is CKBO's birthday, which is August 4th. Meaning get rid of the 9. You think you add 9 to stays the same, so get rid of the 9, that's 84 again. His birthday, again, that's 7/11 is 193rd day of the year. And then 144 is 1 times 44 or whatever, but that's 44. That's another, it's code for 4. Again, that's Stinky BO, Stinky BO, Stinky BO. And the reason why we have these 7/5s is because they're 5/7 backwards, because he's Mr. 57. And I've shared that in all my videos. He's Mr. 57 and Trump's Mr. 50. Trump is Mr. 58. Okay, because it's going to be, his destruction is going to be on the 5th month, the 7th day, and that's Stinky BO. And Trump's annihilation is going to be, or his demise is going to be on the 5th month, the 8th day. And again, the 5th month to the elites is in the Roman calendar, and our month is, instead of the 5th month, is the 7th month, which is July. Okay, this the Gregorian. So here we go. Then he says, stay off the Golden Gate Bridge on August 11. Now he says 11. He doesn't say 11th. And he says, stay off the Golden Gate Bridge on August 11. And he says it on purpose that way. If he says 11th with a TH, it would not work out. But he says August 11. It exactly works out. Oops, let me go back here. Okay, so that's, again, 8 plus 9 plus 8 is 17. So we have 117. 9 plus 8 is 17. 117. 9 plus 8 is 17. 117. And then 2 and 7. I mentioned this many times. 2 can break down into 1 and 1, 7. And that's how you hide 1, 1, 7. You add the 2 together and you end up being 2, 7 or 7, 2, and that's how you hide it. And then this one was, what was this one now? This was 2, 1, 6. So this is 2, 1, 6. Because 6 plus 4 is 10. Take away the 0, you have 2, 1, 6. It's a few things actually. But then you have also 3, 8. 3 plus 8 is 11. 3 plus 4 is 7. Again, there it is. And that's so, literally, I'm showing every phrase you have 11, 7 in it. And multiple. This is impossible. This is off the charts impossible when you think about it. When you really think about it, a lot of people don't really understand numbers completely. Some people do. They know them really well like I do. But trust me, you look at this and for these all to match up and have so many 7-11s, 11-7s and all that. And then, of course, then you have one thing right in here where it's like, okay, that links it to Stinky BO because the 216th day of the year is August 4th, Stinky BO's birthday. Okay, so, and there's many of those. There's 8 4s, there's 4 4s, and we know who's 4-4. He's the 44th Prez. All these things link to him. Okay, and then he says, here I come. And that's so many things. Okay, we're talking about 81 is the 81st day of the year is 3-2-2. Skull and Bones. 5-4 is the first attacks, I'm saying. The 5th month, 4th day, 4th of July. This is also, there's so much to this as well. But I'm going to just cover this 7-2, which is 7-1-1, because 2 is 1 and 1. You got 45. I'm just going to look at it this way, too, because we're talking about Trumple as well. It's 5-4 is 4-5. Super Bowl 54 was this year for a reason, because backwards is 45, his demise, and forward is the first attack, which is July 4th / 5th. Okay, 5-1 is the first day, 5th month, first day. 78 is 7 plus 8 is 15. 5-1 backwards, and then again take out the 9, and we have 15. 5-1 backwards the first day, and then this is 8 plus 9 is 17. Again, 7-1. So 7-1 or 17 is 7-1 backwards. 7-1 is 5-1. Okay, because it's the 5th month to elites in the Roman calendar, but the 7th month to Gregorian is July. Again, I've said this many times. So, and then 4 plus 8 is 12, and then 6. 1, 2, 6, like I mentioned earlier. Then we have another one is 9 plus 7 is 16, and then 2. So if you read it backwards, it's 2-16. There's many ways to look at this. It's also 9 and 9. 9 and 7 plus 2 is 9. Or you take away the 9 and you just have 7 and 2. And then we also have the attack on Trumbull, which is also the attack on the Lincoln aircraft carrier, and that's CVN 72. And Trumbull is 45, so that's the 9-9 code as well. And right here we have 9 and 9 as well. We have 9 and 7 plus 2 is 9. We have a 9-9 code as well. And that's Trumbull 45, 4 plus 5. And the Lincoln Old Lion King, which Trumbull represents, the Old Lion King, the Lincoln aircraft carrier will be attacked on the same day. So, and then shout out to Clorps is what he said. Okay, so shout out to Clorps. I mean, I just spelled it how he said it. And now it could have been a C for Clorps, but that didn't work. And so I did K. And again, they can do it. That's how they're sneaky. It's how they're sounded out, and you got to figure it out. So when you figure it out and you do Clorps with a K, shout out to Clorps, it's exactly 117, 711, 1, 8 plus 9 is 17, and then you even have 9 plus 9 is 18, you even have a 118 code there, because that's what he's talking about. And then we have the 162, or backwards 216, you can say it that way. You can do it a few different ways. We also have the 18. Now, again, the 18 backwards is 81. 81st day of the year was 322. So there's several things in this. Like I said, you have 2, 6, you can say 2 and then 16 backwards. There's several ways you can do it. And then the last one, of course, is 117. 3 plus 4 is 7. This is all random chance, what this guy said. I mean, why would he even say that and even talk about people being attacked if it's not planned? And we got to think about all this stuff. I mean, it makes the most sense. It's code, obviously. Obviously. Why would this guy say this? I mean, that's a sick thing to say if he wasn't part of this whole thing. He's obviously in the know to some degree, but he has no idea what he's really saying, really. I'm sure of that. Okay, and then let's just look at bridge. Why are these even bridges? Why is the Golden Gate Bridge, and there's other bridges that are symbols of what's coming? Why are they even that? Because we're talking about a bridge from one time to another time. We're talking about a bridge from one age to another age. We're talking about it's the the connecting of two things. It's a bridge. So bridge itself is 45, which is also 54 against Trumple, 117, 44 Stinky BO, 81, 322. Again, 117 is 2 was 117 and 711. I mean, are you kidding me? Look at all this bridge. And then I decided to do bridge in a bunch of other ciphers that I don't normally do. I occasionally throw in some different ones. So I decided to do it in a bunch of other ciphers I don't normally do because I don't. There are a number of reasons for that. I know these are more established and things like that, and they've been used more, and I've seen them in a lot of things. But sometimes I'll bring in some other ciphers and see how they match. And these are crazy. So I use some of these other ciphers. English Extended, which is 117. Francis Bacon is 7-1. Again, July 1st is the first day. Again, 8 plus 9 is 17, which is 7-1 backwards. Again, 17 is 7-1 backwards. And again, this is very important because 7-1 is a birth. That's when in iPad Goat, Lily drops the apple. That's 7-1. The apple rolls. It splits open on 7-11. And then the flower blooms on 7-13. 8 plus 9 is 17. 7-1. 17, 7-1. Okay, so these are birthdays. So a 7-11 and 7-1 are both birthdays in a sense. They're birth. There's symbols of birth. In fact, all days in the 13-day process are symbols of birth, just in different ways for different reasons, and that's just their messaging. Okay, now I'm going to talk to you about this bridge here. Now, this back in the 40s, 1940, was put out in this newsreel here. Most amazing on-the-spot news picture ever filmed, that they were saying at that time. Because they literally caught it while it was happening on video and everything. And that's not by chance, because they planned this. I'm going to show you how they planned it. But what is this? What is this? It was the Tacoma Narrows Bridge in 1940. It was shaken to destruction, basically. And they say it's from, they were saying it was from wind. And I'm going to show you this. This is crazy. So watch this first, though. Let me turn this up a little bit, maybe.
Tacoma Bridge, Washington, opened only a few months ago, was built at a cost of over $6 million. But misfortune overtakes the great structure. These are some of the most amazing pictures ever recorded by a newsreel. The actual collapse of the world's third largest suspension bridge. Only a 35-mile-an-hour wind is blowing, but this apparently sets up a rhythmic swinging of the bridge, which increases with each swing. Finally, the swinging road and the suspension cables give way and plunge into the water below. Fortunately, the only casualties were a car stalled on the bridge and a dog.
Okay, now, oops. All right, so this is really important because this is all signaling for what's coming on what does that bridge represent? The Golden Gate Bridge. Also, it represents several things, but it's also on how, there's tons of coding on this. In fact, the Tacoma Narrows Bridge opened on July 1st. Remember, I've been just said 7-1-1-7. It's crazy, okay? And the original bridge that was destroyed, it had a nickname because of that, Galloping Gertie. And you have the G, like Golden Gate, 7-7. G is the seventh letter of the alphabet. That's not a coincidence. Of course not. Are you kidding me? Okay. And then because of the vertical movement of the deck observed by construction workers during windy conditions, the bridge became known for its pitching deck and collapsed into Puget Sound the morning of November 7th. Check this out. November 7th. Are you kidding me? Okay, so November 7th, again, is 7-11, and it's also, again, what's hidden in that is 11 times 7 is 77, and then look, it's 1914, that's 1940, and 19 is really 10, take away the 0, because they don't count zeros, and then we have 4, 14 is 7 plus 7. So again, we have 7-7 and 7-7. That's how they do this stuff, okay? It said it happened, collapsed because of engineering issues as well as the United States involvement in World War II postponed their plans. to do some more stuff to it. But no, that's not true. That's not true. This shows that they planned this. It's July 1st. It's GG. It's, these dates are 7/7. I mean, that's all massive, ridiculous coincidence, along with many other things I'm going to show you. No, I don't think so. And in fact, they called it aeroelastic flutter caused by, now the newsreel said 35-mile-an-hour winds, and this one's saying 42-mile-an-hour winds. But I mean, give me a break. A 42-mile-an-hour wind would cause that? And that's very heavy. And they're saying it collapsed because it had lasting effects on science and engineering. In many undergraduate physics texts, the event is presented as an example of, so they use that as an event as an example, I guess, of elementary force resonance, with the wind providing external periodic frequency that matched the natural structural frequency. Now, this is important because they're saying frequency here. So remember how Gilbert Gottfried said HARP? Well, HARP is all about frequency. And I believe that back then they had a machine or some kind of weapon. And again, it was right in going into World War II. They had some kind of weapon they wanted to test out with frequency, and they did on this bridge on the exact day for all their numerology and all their rituals and everything like that. And they did on that day, and they happened to be filming it on that day, and people were hanging out on that day. I mean, are you kidding me? See all these people just hanging out while it's swaying like crazy and broke? I mean, seriously. And they had one car up there, and this is all planned, obviously planned. I'm sorry if you can't see that, but it's obviously planned. And they knew exactly what was going to happen. They filmed it and used that as an example for future stuff. I mean, seriously, aeroelastic flutter. I mean, 42-mile-an-hour wind caused that to completely be destroyed. I don't think so. You got to suspend some reality in your mind to believe that. I mean, I understand like a 100-mile-an-hour wind or an 80-mile-an-hour wind or something like that. That's more believable. I mean, those things are heavy. Okay, to be able to carry cars across and everything. I mean, I just had in my backyard. Okay, literally. Because we had the storm come through, just in my backyard. It was an 80 to 90 mile an hour wind, and it blew down some things and branches and stuff like that. And it got up to about 80, I think, probably not 90, but pretty close to 80. It said it was going to be 70, 80. And there's still things I had that were fine and everything. I mean, it just caused some destruction and everything. But I mean, can you imagine a whole bridge made of metal and all this kind of stuff and all these girdings go down with 42-mile-an-hour winds? I just don't. It just makes no sense to me. Okay, plus, check this out. I believe they made this term up at that time. Again, it was a symbol for future stuff. Aeroelastic. Okay, look at this. Aeroelastic is 1, 8 plus 9 is 17. 1, 7, 7. 7 is 72 is 7, 11. 7, 2, 2 is 11, 11. And then 5, 11. 5, 7 plus 4 is 11. And then we have 6, and then 4 plus 8 is 12. Backwards is 2, 1, 6. And then we have 11, and 34 is 3 plus 4 is 7. I mean, are you kidding me? That's all a massive coincidence to this word. In fact, the full phrase, aeroelastic flutter, in reverse gematria, English gematria, is exactly 7, 11. 1 plus 6 is 7, 5 plus 6 is 11. And that's all coincidence. It exactly relates to that bridge and the Golden Gate Bridge from being 7-11. And again, 7-11, 7 times 11 also, and that's 7-7. And 7-7 is Golden Gate, GG, or Galloping Gertie, GG. I mean, seriously, they didn't just pick these out of the clear blue sky. This is all planned, and I'm showing that. Here it is. So Golden Gate Bridge, and I'm going to show you the first and last letter codes. I've shared this before many places. In fact, I have a video that goes back. You should check it out. Go to my channel. Go back to It's the End of the World as We Know It, and I Feel Fine, song by REM, and I do the whole first and last letter code in this. In that one, I just do the first letter code, but it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. First letter code is, and then it's an anagram on top of that, and see what it says. It's crazy. It's a message. It's really crazy. So, first and last letter code. So, Golden Gate Bridge is GGB, which is 772. Again, seventh letter of the alphabet, and then the second letter of the alphabet is B, and then Galloping Gertie. I'm showing you how these kind of relate. You see how these relate? I mean, just obvious. And you got this bridge. You can even say Galloping Gertie Bridge. I mean, because that's kind of what it was. Okay. And they relate exactly that way. Now let's look at the last letter code of Golden Gate Bridge. You can see this, the code's going on here. So we have, first of all, 7 plus 7. So we have 7-2 right here, which is July. And then, of course, like I said, 2 is really 1 and 1, so 7-11. Then we have 7 plus 7, which is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5, so then that's really 5, 2. Again, you can compress numbers that way. That's 5, 2. 5, 2 is really 1 and 1, like I said. So that's 7-11 in a sense, and 5-11. Then we have 5, 5, 5. So 5 plus 5 is 10. So we have 5, and then 5 plus 5 is 10. So that's 5-1. 5-1. Also, we can go any direction here as well. That's what they do a lot of times. They'll have the first and the last. So you can even go backwards. 5, 2 is 5-11. 5-7, 5-7. Again, 5-7 was Stinky Bio's number. Again, this is all about his birth. 5-7 is Hawaii, and that's when he's supposed to be, I'm saying he's possibly going to be attacked, and then he'll come back to life, whatever, and that's 5-7. Okay, and this is all about the transition from this birth of the man-child into heaven, and then Stinky Bio's birth being the AC, and that's going to transition into this new time, which is going to start the tribulation and everything. Okay, so, and then right here, so, I mean, you can go crossways, up and down in a sense, it's crazy, but there's all these messages in this. So then look at Galloping Gertie. Galloping Gertie also is 5-7 or 7-5. We go backwards here because they like to do backwards, so you go 5-7, or back upside down and backwards, so 5-7, and then across here is 7-7. I mean, are you kidding me? You have 7-7 here and 7-7 across. See how these relate? See how these relate here? I mean, are you kidding? Wow. So that's a massive, massive, ridiculous coincidence. All the things I'm showing you, I don't think so. Okay, now let's look at Tacoma Narrows Bridge, which the Galloping Gertie was. Again, it's first letter code. We have first letter as T is 20, but you take away the 0. And then N is 1 plus 4 is 5, and B is 2. So that's really obvious. That is crazy. Not only do you have 5-11 right here, 5-11, so 5 and 2 is 1 and 1. We also have 2 plus 5 is 7-11. Right there. And now looks at the last letter code over here. That right away is upside down 5-11. And then we even have crossways code. We have 2-1. Okay. And I've shared this many times. Stinky Bio is 12 or 21 because he's really 3. So his birthday, he's Mr. 5-7. Like I said, 5 plus 7 is 12. Or backwards is 21. 1 plus 2 is 3. He's 3. They're going from 9 to 3. Bottom of the pyramid to the top of the pyramid. So he's 12 in many ways. Another way to make 12 is his birthday, August 4th. August 4th is 8-4. 8 plus 4 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. I mean, and they're going from 9. He's also 93. 9 going from 9 to 3. 9 plus 3 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. So he's 3 ultimately. So you just break them up into different numbers to hide the 3 that he is. Because they believe 3 is spiritual perfection and godliness and everything like that. So, and then 5-1, of course, the first day. Then we got 5, 1, and 1 in 2. So we got 5-1 and 5-11 right here. I mean, it's crazy. Okay, now let's look at this. So this is the Golden Gate Bridge right here. Okay, and I should have made these in separate slides, but whatever. Golden Gate Bridge right here. This is the coordinates, and it's on 122. Okay, 122 was 122nd day of the year, and that was 5-1. And then we have the Galloping Gertie or the Tacoma Narrows Bridge, same coordinates, and that's 5-1 as well. There's a lot of numbers in here that are really crazy. I'm not getting all of them, but there's a lot of numbers in these coordinates that match everything. Now I'm going to go back. This is the Golden Gate Bridge now. You know, under here, this is the Golden Gate right here, and then these are Golden Gate Bridge here, but I'm just showing you how this one, the Tacoma Narrows, is similar as far as exact same coordinates on 122, which is 5-1. Okay, and then right here we have so many things. This is just incredible. We have 7-1, we have 7-2, we have 7-3. 7-3 is 3-7. 7-1, 7-2 is 7-11. I mean, it just goes and goes. 8 plus 9 is 17. Then we have 8, and then that's 1 plus 7, or 7 plus 8 is 15. We have 115. I mean, it just goes and goes. Then right here we have 11-7 and 7-4 is 4th of July. We have 7-11 and 7-4 right here. We have 7-1. 4 plus 6 is 10. Take away the 0. We have 7-1. It's just everywhere in this. Look at January. This construction started the Golden Gate Bridge. January is the first month to us, but to the elites it's the 11th month. So January 5th is 11-5. Is that a coincidence? Because it's ultimately their month that they're talking about. I mean, it's their time. And then we also have 1 and 3-3. 133rd day of the year is May 12th. So we have May 12th or 5-12 and 5-11 were both tsunami days. there's so many things I can show you in all this. We also, that 1 plus 3 plus 3 is 7. And then we have 511. We have 7 and 511. And then 5 plus 7 is 12, which is 3. So that's 113. It's all over here. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm kind of going through this a little bit fast. But also April is the second month. This is crazy. April is the second month to the elites. 19 is 1. Let me do this. So 19 is 1. 19 is 1. 1 plus 3. They love to do this. They love to make tens, and then you just take away the 1. So 19, 1 plus 9 is 10. 1 plus 9 is 10. 3 plus 7 is 10. Take away the 1s. So you have 2 plus 3. 2 plus 1 is 3. And then 11 right here. 311. Or April is also the fourth month to us. So that's 4. And we have 1. And then 1, 1. So that's 5. 4 plus 1 is 5. So we have 311 here and 511. They're the same. Hopefully that makes sense. Drawing all over the place here. But 311 and 511, because it just depends on whether April's the second month to elites or the fourth month to the masses, being a Gregorian. And then right here, it says goes and goes. It's crazy. So we have, again, we have May is the third month to elites. Third month to elites. And then we have 1 and 1 and 1. No, I'm sorry. That's what I did. We don't have 1 here. We have 9. So 9 plus 3 is really 3. So we take away the 9, and so it's 311. Again, 311 again. And then check this out. So June is 6. 1 plus 8 is 9. 6 plus 9 is 15. That's 5, 1, or 1, 5. And then we have 1. 19 is 1 because it's, again, anytime you have the 10, you take away the 0. 1 plus 9 is 10, take away the 0. And then 87, 8 plus 7 is 15. So we have 5, 1, and 5, 11 right here. It's all over. It's in all these things. Hopefully you're following me. You know, I could go a little bit slower and everything, but hopefully you follow me because it's all there. It's really all there. Okay, and then again, here we have Golden Gate Bridge, first and last of the code. And then I'm going to bring in here, the Lord just has been leading me, especially for the context of this video, to different places. I would think about some other things. He would show me some other things. And so here's Georgia Guidestones. Again, we have the GG, the 7-7, right? 7-7, GG. And then what's the last letter code on Georgia Guidestones? 1 and 19. So backwards from the bottom to the top is 911. So 911 is 7-7 is what it's saying. 911 is 7-7. And again, what's 7-7? 7-7 is 711, or 7 times 11 is 7-7. That's what's hidden in this. So every time you see G.G. Gilbert Godfrey, Golden Gate, he's saying 7-7, 7-7, and again, 7-7 is 7 times 11, and that's 711. Again, hidden, oh thank heaven, it's 711. It's hidden. That's the way they do it. So every time you see 5-5, for example, 5-5 is 5 times 11, or every time you know the very famous Masonic 33. 33 is 3 times 11, which is 311. Again, that's the other code. So we have 311, 511, 711. They all mean the same thing. They're all about the transition. They're all about the water breaking, and that's the tsunamis. That's the day they can't wait for. Cannot wait for that day, because that's going to happen, and then the pit's going to open and all this kind of stuff. So the enemy can't wait for that day. So it's all over everywhere. Okay, and then this day the day I did this slide, and I was to this point in my slide, I took a break. I went to the store. Oh wait, this one I had to just go do some errands because I'm Aaron. I had to do some errands, a couple things, going to the post office and stuff real quick. And the only vehicle, I mean, there was license plates and stuff, but the only one there's one I noticed because I was about to turn back on into my house, and this guy was going to go right, and I was going to go left into my house, and he stopped to go right. And here it is, 117. I cannot believe it. Even the YHU is full code as well. Maybe you can figure it out, but I'm not getting into that right now. And then, so I'm doing more of my video, and then I went to go get some food. Just a little bit of grocery shopping I had to get for the family and stuff for a little bit with my kids. And then bam, I'm going onto the freeway and coming back home. And again, it's a short time, and it was the only one I even noticed, and that was 511. It's like, are you kidding me? You're absolutely kidding me. So, I mean, this stuff I get all the time. This is in one day. This is 2 different trips. These are the only ones I even pay attention to. They just popped out at the right time. I saw them at the right time. There might have been others, but or there might have been not have been any, or I might not have seen this, but this is how the Lord works. Boom, boom. I'm literally doing a video about this, and I take 2 breaks, and then boom, there they are. It's incredible. It happens all the time. Now I'm going to show you this one. This is really crazy. Okay, so on June 1st, apparently, I guess maybe it was before he did his speech, or maybe it was after he did his speech about martial law, basically, all that stuff, and caused all this stuff after the riots and everything. He does this weird ritual. In fact, it's so weird. I mean, he looks even more deadpan than normal right here. It's just really crazy. But this is about his death. Okay, and I'm going to show you that. In fact, St. John's Parish. Parish is just like how English is. There can be multiple meanings for the same sounding word. Just like you saw Gilbert Godfrey said, harp. And people are assuming, because if they know about harp, they're assuming it's going to get destroyed by the sound. And that's, that was the thing that I think they used as a weapon on the Tacoma Narrows Bridge back in the 40s. But some version of that of sound. And so he says that, but that's to kind of divert you from not using the not using HARP versus HAARP, or AARP. Anyway, and so that's what English is, and they like to put spells on you through spelling. That's what it is. Spelling. They're going to spell you. They're going to put a spell on you. So St. John's Parish, and then the church house. So basically, this is talking about how his death is connected. He's doing a ritual about how his death is going to be connected to the burning down of Christianity / the country. And I'm going to show that to you. This is really crazy. He pulls out this book, this Bible, and it's black, and it's a certain way for a certain reason. And this is all crazy. I'm going to show you there's so much gematria in all this, and first and last letter code in all this, but I'm going to show a main point that they're mainly focusing on, and I'm going to show you what that is. So here he is. And by the way, St. John's Church is 58. There's Mr. 58. Okay? And then Parish House is 58 as well. Well, that's a massive coincidence, right? Especially because we're talking about his demise. The 5th month, which is the 7th month to us in the Gregorian, so that's July 8th, would be his demise. And that's what he's showing here. So in these 2 words, these 2 names, St. John's Church and Parish House, they're both 58. That's not a coincidence, because he's Mr. 58, and I'm showing you more evidence of that. Okay, then he pulls up this, and he just is very intentional. You watch him put his hands on it. He puts it in the right place. He's not very good at like hiding it, the moves. He's a little bit. I mean, a lot of people won't notice it. If you look a little bit, you can notice that he's really intent on the way he's holding it. And he's holding it at an angle for a reason. In fact, when he pulls it back down, he puts his hand on top. It's a weird way he does it. I mean, literally, it's like, you should watch the footage sometime if you can find it. I guess I could put the link in the description box if I remember. Well, I don't think a lot of people watch some of those, unless it's some of my old stuff or whatever, but unless it's a big deal. But let me show you what's in here. This is really crazy. And there's a far more in here, but I'm going to highlight some particular thing that I think it's really showing. So this reporter, and this is, again, this is all staged. This is a ritual. Is that your Bible? And he says, it's a Bible. I mean, really just deadpan face. It's a Bible. And that is, okay, 2 plus 6 is 8, 5. Mr. 58 backwards. That's 8, 5 backwards. That's 8, 5. 3, 8 plus 3 is 11. 3, 11. Again, he's talking not only about his demise, but the demise of the United States. They're linked. They're linked together. So, and then we have, not only is it 1 plus 5 is 68, because the 68th day of the year, only on a leap year, was March 8th, and March 8th is the 3rd month, but to the elites, third month is 5, or is their 5th month, okay? 3rd month is May, really, okay? So that's 6-8 or 5-8, and 1 times 58 is 58. Okay, that's how they look at this. So then 1, and then 6 plus 7 is 13, so 1, 1, 3. And then again, we have 2 plus 5 is 7. 2 is 1 and 1 compressed. And then right here, 1 plus 3 is 4. 1 plus 4 is 5, 45. So he's 45. So these are all codes here. But it's just saying, is that your Bible? It's a Bible. He's saying a message. Okay, it is hidden again. It's very important to understand that. So I got a lot more stuff here that are really crazy. All right, and then check this out. the way he was holding an angle, they love doing this mirroring thing, and I've done it many times with Economist magazines and other things like that. And I would give a little shout out to Doc Savage. Thank you for seeing something on this, and that kind of clued me in on this part. So thank you. But I want to add this other element that's like, wow, this is really crazy. So that is a casket. And notice how it's black. It's got the edging around it and everything. It looks just like this thing. What's that? That is the casket from the old Lion King, or Lincoln. When Lincoln was killed, that was a casket he was in. Yeah, and notice the edging here. See that right here? See that? See the edging? See how it's black and you have the edging right here? Black with the edging. It just happens to be the right angle to be this. He's got this deadpan look, which he usually has, but he seems like he's even more intense this time. Okay, there it is. Boom. Death of the old Lion King Lincoln. And that's what's going to happen. Again, when he's attacked, mark my words, whenever that is, the USS Abraham Lincoln is going to be attacked and destroyed, and everybody destroyed, because he's going to be completely gone. And at the same time, the true man is going to be destroyed. The Truman, but people are going to survive, and because it's the true man, it represents Stinky B.O., the 44th Prez. He's going to come back to life, and these people in the Truman are going to they're going to be people that survive, because he's going to survive or come back to life. Okay, I'm just saying that's what all the predictive programming is showing, believe it or not. Okay, but I pretty much guarantee that's going to happen. Now, as far as the time and when exactly, I'm doing my best guess, and this is my best guesses I'm sharing with you, and that is July 8th. July 7th for Stinky B.O., which ends up being 7-7. What a shock, because he's Mr. 7-7 in so many ways, but that's also 5-7 because that's their calendar, so he's Mr. 57. And I've shown how he's 7-7 like 1,000 times in the past. And then 5-8 would be really 7-8, which is July 8th. Okay, so let's keep going here. And then I'm blowing up We Are Welcome here. You see that We Are Welcome? I'm blowing it up so you can see a little bit more. And I'm going to do because it's pointed right to his head, like something that's going to shoot at his head. And it was very clear. It stuck out. All Are Welcome is a first and last letter code. And it just stuck right out for me. I saw it. I read the code right as I was looking at it. And I saw it was pointed to his head. In fact, it was going right to his head, and it's going right to here. Boom. And right to the casket. And first letter code is AAW. So all are welcome. First letter code is AAW. Well, of course, A is number 1, first letter of the alphabet. W is 23rd letter of the alphabet. So that backwards is 2 things. And I'm going to show you how also this is hidden. This is a lot of people don't know about this, because 322 is hidden the actual attack day. And this is how you can really see it very well and how it's hidden. So 23, of course, we'll do it this way. So we'll do the skull and bones first. So 3, 2, and then 1 plus 1 is 2. Backwards, that's 3, 2, 2, which is skull and bones. Okay, so that's the attack day of skull and bones. Well, what day is that? Well, it's right in front of your face. 3 plus 2 is 5, 1, 1, and that's 511. So 3, 2, 2 is 511. It's just hidden. 3 plus 2 is 5, and then 2 is 1 and 1 decompressed. That's it. It's right there. And I'm showing you through this example. It's a great example to show you how if you're going to have this, you're going to try to hide this and this. You're going to make it this and then hide it in this. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Now let's do the last letter code so you see what's this all about as well. So last letter code, you have L, E, and E. Again, we have double letters again. E, and we have the double A's, we have the double E's. This is not a coincidence. Look at this so many ways. This is crazy. So L, let's look at the E's first. E is the 5th letter of the alphabet, and then L is the 12th. So this is really crazy. So again, you go backwards, you have 5, and then 5 plus 2 plus 1 is 8, 58. And this is backwards. So this is 5, and then 5 plus 2 plus 1 is 8. So he's Mr. 58. Now, again, look like it's like a shooting. It's a gun or whatever. The arrow is pointing right through his head, and he may be hit in the head or something. I'm not sure, just like CBO, but right through his head, and he's going to the casket. Okay, hopefully you can see that. That is hidden there. I'm telling you. It took the eyes of the Lord for me to see that, and it's right there. The numbers couldn't match more perfectly. But not only that, it's the end of the United States. I mean, his attack will be the beginning of the end of the United States. It'll start on 4th of July. There'll be something, then 5-7, 5-8, and then 5-11/12 will be the tsunamis, and the final destruction of nuclear on the 13th. It's going to be insane. So it's a total process of the destruction of the United States, and they're basically the taking away of the will of the people completely. And so they will eventually rush to the answer, which will be a man that will come back to life, and he'll be this golden man and a different version of himself right now, even more like radiant and stuff probably and everything. It'll be a complete lie, and that'll be Stinky Bo, Barry Sotoro, BS. What a bunch of BS. Anyway, next. Now this, I want to go back to this. So why is this important? This was an ad by Apple, and it was about the iPhone X. They were promoting the iPhone X. What's the big deal? This is a pause situation. So they're throwing all these things at this phone through this big like wind tunnel thing. These, fruit and, vegetables and toys and all kinds of stuff. And they all had meaning. And I'm going to get onto all that. There's so much I could cover in that. Wow. But I wanted to cover this. There's an army man, and I paused at the right spot with this army man shooting right at the head of this man. See that? Army man shoot. Right there, right at his head. Okay, that's not a coincidence. In fact, because the sticky man, he's red and blue. Well, who's red and blue? Well, that guy is red and blue. He's very known for the two ties. In fact, a lot of people say that when he's wearing a blue tie, he's really standing for Israel because they're blue, and when he's a red tie, he's standing in a sense for the United States. And some people think he's a clone. There's two different guys. I don't care. I don't know. Maybe, possibly, some even say he's a woman. I'm not going to get into all that, okay? I'm just going to say that maybe he's a split personality. Who knows? I don't know what the deal is, but what the predictive programming shows to me, he will be attacked. He will be eliminated. Whether he knows, I know he knows it, but I don't know if maybe they're planning to really get rid of him and he thinks he's just going to have another, maybe he's going to have a different body or something. I don't know, but something like that. But who also is red and blue? Mr. Stinky Bo. Why? See, look at his, and that's a more exaggerated version of his purple, because that's his favorite purple is ultraviolet. But if you just look at normal purple, red and blue make purple. Okay, he's Mr. Purple. He's all of the. In fact, him shown as a Jedi in Star Wars, he has a purple lightsaber, which is ultraviolet. I mean, things like that. He's Mr. Ultraviolet because ultraviolet is the highest vibration of light, and that represents him being incarnated by the light bearer, Lucifer. I mean, are you kidding me? And then it's right here in iPad Goat. There's the same exact color tassel because he's coming around the graduation time. He's doing these commencements, and this is around the time, and he's going to be the dragon. This is actually pointing to the dragon that's on below the chalkboard because that's who he really is. He's eating the egg, cracking the white gloves are actually cracking the egg. And by the way, those white gloves also have to do with him being Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse is MM, which is 13 and 13. That's 4, 4. 1 plus 3 is 4. 1 plus 3 is 4. He's 4, 4. Mickey Mouse is white and black. Okay, there's so much to this. Those white gloves, Mickey Mouse. In fact, this year's in Chinese lunar calendar is when he's going to be the AC. I'm saying, and this year is the year of the mouse or rat. That's why Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse is also Master Mason. Or you turn the M sideways and it's 3, 3, 3, 3. Remember I said 33 is 11 times 30, or 11 times 3, which is 311. That's Obama's number as well, because that's his day of birth. And there's so many things to all this. I could just keep talking about it, of course, which I do at times. But why is he not this example of ultimately? Why is he? They're both examples. Like I said, they're both gonna. I think this is representing both, being those colors. That's him, and that's him. They're both gonna get shot, or whatever. They're gonna get attacked. I don't know how they're gonna get attacked. I'm just saying like shot because this is sort of shot. They're both gonna get attacked. Well, why is Stinky Bo different? Because he's the real iPhone X. Because iPhone X is a anagram. What's iPhone X an anagram of? It's an anagram of Phoenix. This guy is going to die and rise. iPhone X is exact anagram of Phoenix. A Phoenix exact anagram of iPhone X. That's not a coincidence. That's what this is showing. He's going to be killed. A Phoenix has to die and be reborn from the ashes. And that's what's going to be amazing to a lot of people. This guy is going to go down and come back up. And there's no way. They're like, no way. And that's what the Bible says. You have a head wound. People will be amazed he comes back. And that's what it shows in iPad Go. There's a child with a head wound. And then he eventually comes back and he's fluttering, doing a whirling dervish on a full moon and everything. And I'm going to get into all that right now. So here. So that's a little bit of my proof of that. So, and here it is. So he's in front of that one sign. And then he comes over here. He's holding the Bible just right because his death that's the casket, and he is laying in the casket by holding it right in front of him like that. Okay, that's all a ritual. And then look at the number of this church, the St. John's. Look at the number of this church. Do you see that? Do you see it backwards? What is that backwards? Remember I told you, what is 5-2 and what is 5-1? 5-2 is 5-11. Backwards, 2 is 1 and 1. 5-1 is 5-1. We have the first day and the 11th day of this 13-day attack thing I'm saying right there. It's right there. And this church was burned. It was attacked. And I'm going to show you more about that. But also, you'll just look backwards and you have 5. Right? 5. 2 plus 5 plus 1 is 8. So 5-8 again. Because he's Mr. 58. And that's all coincidence? No. I mean, this got to be off the charts, ridiculous coincidence for this to be that he's standing in front of this, of things I've said about him many, many, many times, how he's Mr. 58. I've shown it like 100 times, how he's Mr. 58. I've shown it maybe a little less than that, how Stinky Bo is Mr. 57, and they're one day apart from each other for their attacks, and what this all means to the country and everything. It's all planned. It's all going to happen at some point. Okay? And then guess what? The reason why there's just a 1 right here is because 5 plus 2 plus 5 is 5-7. 5-25. What happened on 5-25? Who got supposedly killed? George Floyd. 5-25 exactly, which is 5-7. And I'm telling you, Stinky Bo had a lot to do with all this stuff, and he's behind all of it. He's running the deep state. He's running everything. He's even running Trump. I'm telling you, believe it or not. And if you don't believe it, you'll find out. You'll find out. These things I'm saying are going to happen. Trump will be eliminated. He'll come onto the scene completely. He'll have the answers for everything. People will just flock to him like he's the Messiah and a half. I mean, seriously. Okay, so then here he is after that. Then he puts a Bible next to his side, and then he has these other people on staff stand by him, exactly 6 of them. And that's not a coincidence either. There's so much to this. I mean, literally, all these things, there's so many even numbers I haven't even covered yet. So many things I haven't even covered because I'm not going to cover every single thing. So, and then from what's so important about this, well, let me do this first. This church burned, and there's a reason why they said it mainly burned in the nursery, in the basement, but it burned to some degree, and then it was boarded up this next day. So the day before it was burned on, it was attacked on May 31st, which is not a coincidence as well because that's 331. May is really the 3rd month to the lead, so that's 331. So much to that as well. Wow. And in New York on March 31st, they had this massive, light on top of Chrysler Building, like flashing around and around, like this crazy dystopian nightmare looking thing, like a signal about where they're going to get attacked. It was really crazy. I showed it in one of my videos. It was just really nuts. And that was on 3/31, March 31st. This is May 31st that this gets burned. And this resonates back to a church being burned, resonates back to, Notre Dame being burned on April 14th. And that's a church being burned, okay? And that represents the end of Christianity. It represents also, because where it is, everything, it's the United States, because right by the White House. It's many things, and it's his own destruction because he's there holding the casket up and in front of him and everything. Okay, it's all this representation. Again, this is all symbolism, hidden symbolism for these freaks, these wacko nutballs. Okay. So from April 14th of this last year when that happened, Notre Dame Cathedral was burning. That's an iPad Goat as well. To May 31st, 414 days. 414 is April 14. Look at that. That's a coincidence? No, I don't think so. And that is 9,936 hours. 3 plus 6 is 9. That's 999, which is 666 upside down and backwards. And then you have the 414 days and 58 weeks and 6 days. 58 because he's Mr. 58. And 6 days because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But that really means it's the birth of 6. Who's 6? Like an iPad Go. Next to Lily, I showed he's the 6th month this year. He's 6. He's 6 in so many ways. He's born on 5/1. 5 plus 1 is 6. He had a jersey in high school, 23. 2 times 3 is 6. Or 2 divided by 3 is 0.6666. Or just 0.6. If you want to round and make it super short, 0.6 is just as valid as 0.66, and just as valid as 0.66666, and just as valid as 0.6666666. Okay, but some are more accurate. The more 6s you get, as far as, but it's still 2 divided by 3 is 6.6. Okay, and that's why he has the number. Why he had number 23. Why in his presidential portrait, his legs upside down and backwards is 3-2, with the black mamba snake, which is 2-3 backwards. I mean, are you kidding me? That's stinky bo, and he is 6. He is 666 and 666. Here we go. And then, if we want to do it a little bit differently, let's count the day. The next day was still burning, and when the spire fell. That was April 15th to May 31st, and that's 412 days, which is actually 5, 2 is 1, 1. Okay? It's also 9,888 hours. Wow, I'm going off here again. So, realize that. Okay? Forget this. This was actually 59 something, but whatever. This is 9888. Again, Trump is 888. Okay, anything you add 9 to stays the same, so just get rid of the 9. And it's 888. Mr. 888 is Trump with thin skin. Because, and let me give you the great example I shared in my last video. From his birth, when he was born, supposedly on June 14, 1946, to the day of his demise, I'm saying is July 8th, 2020, is exactly 888 months, 888, and 24 days, which is 24 is 8 plus 8 plus 8. So he's Mr. 888, 888. Well, how is he 88? Well, I've shared it many times. Donald J. Trump in English Gematria is 888. Also, Donald J. Trump in reverse ordinal is 176. Well, what's 176? Well, it's many things, but it's 176 is 88 plus 88. Anyway, I can't write that right. Anyway, I have my phone kind of floating in my hand, so I'm going to draw funky. 88 plus 88 is 176. And then let's check this out. And then he's also in simple gematria 148, which is, what is that? That could be 1 plus 4 is 5, and then 8, so he's Mr. 58. There's also a few other things. Backwards, it's 841, or 84 times 1, and that's because he's representing the birth of 84, or the birth of CKBO, which was August 4th. Does that make sense? Hopefully it makes sense, because it's real. Okay, now I want to touch on the Georgia Guidestones. Now, I mentioned it really quick because it was GG, and I'm going to touch on a few things with Georgia Guidestones. Now, I've covered this, and the video's going way back, and I've deciphered the Guidestones and the cube. I'm redoing this a little bit to make it more current, because the codes are the same, but to get to the actual day is something else. So I'm going to just talk about this briefly. So if you don't know about the Guidestones, they're in Georgia. It's basically some guy showed up named R.C. Christian and saying he was, he wanted to put these up. He put these up. He paid for it and everything. And then no one knows exactly who it is. Some people think it was Ted Turner. Somebody in the Illuminati or the Masons or whatever had this thing put up, these big granite slabs. Basically, and the most ominous thing about all this, they have the 10 laws that they want the world to go by. And the most ominous thing about this whole thing is this: maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. And that just tells you their plans are to eventually kill off most of the population somehow. That's their plans. I mean, that's basically what that's saying. That's basically what that's saying, okay? And if you don't understand that, then you need to understand that, because that's what it's saying. And so that is tied on all these different events. For example, it was open on March 22nd, 1980, which is 322, okay, which is skull and bones, death. Okay, it's also, 322 is also 3 plus 2 plus 2 is 7. Oops, 7. And then 19 is really, remember, it's 10. 1 plus 9 is 10, take away 0. So that's 1, and then 8. So it's also 7 plus 1 is 8. It's also 88. It's actually a few things, but it's also 88. That's the transition. Remember, Marty McFly went 88 miles an hour in the DeLorean to go from one time to another time. 88 is transition. Trump in simple gematria is 88. I didn't cover that either, but I covered several things about him being 88. But Trump in simple gematria, just Trump, is 88. So there's so many things in all this. And then right here, look at this, where the Guidestones are. It just happens to be on this highway, which is Highway 77. Again, Georgia Guidestones GG is 77. It just happens to be on Highway 77 because 77 is really 77. It was really 711 because 11 times 7 is 77. July 11th. I mean, are you kidding me? And I'm going to show you more here. This is crazy. So, what I wanted to really touch on was this. There's at one point it was in 2014. This had some vandalism, a couple different points, but these vandalisms were messages. Every time something's happened to this structure, because it's highly monitored, the police in that area are Masons. They made sure of it. They have a camera that's vaulted up into, it's like 30 feet up off of the ground, and no one can touch it. And it monitors this place 24/7, and no one's gonna vandalize this thing and not be known and everything. So they get this idea that it's someone just went in there and vandalized it. It's all planned, and their messages. The vandalisms are additional messages, and they're gematria and things. They're codes. And some of this is, for example, this is saying it's a female goddess, that I am here, I am light, I am whatever. I mean, all these different things. I will save the world. Some of these are some of the screenshots I got of this lady that was taking video. She just happened to be taking video of this graffiti on the day after it happened, really, or maybe the day it happened, because it happened earlier that night. And she just happened to be there. That's all not a coincidence. And the day she does this is the day right before there was a cube that they put in. They put in a cube on 9/11, 2014, and then they took it out exactly 14 days later on 9/25. 14 again is 7 plus 7, 7. That's not a coincidence. And then she ended up taking this video. I figured it out. She ended up taking this video exactly, or when this happened, the day it happened and the day she did it was exactly 7 days after 9/11, which was 17th going into the 18th, really. Technically, probably the 18th is when she really took the video. And that's 7 days after they put it on 9/11. 7 days later was the removal of the cube, and this contractor came in and he broke it apart and gave pieces to people. And this girl videotaped it. There's a video about that, and I have it on my last video, my videos I did. It's still in the link in the description box there. You can look it up, maybe you might find it. But they chunk it apart. He chunks it apart with a hammer and chisel, whatever. Gives the pieces to some of these people. And the girl taking the video, it's so staged. It's so funny. And she literally says on the video, "Oh, I'm okay. I have enough room. I have an hour and 15 minutes to record." And that's 1:15. I mean, literally, the whole thing is staged. And she videotapes it from when the guy shows up. 2 guys show up in a truck, coming into the parking lot, all the way to, why would she be doing that? I mean, literally, you can watch the whole thing, and she has disposition, so everybody there is all planned. You can't see anybody's license plates. I mean, it's all planned. It was very crazy. So anyway, here we are. This is this graffiti that happened, supposedly, right? But then you have these crazy symbols right here. See these symbols right here? And I'm going to show you what they are. I will save the world. I am here. I am light. I am the end. I am the beginning. See, this is very occultish information, and this is all gematria. This is gematria right here. It's all this. I'm just going to touch on one thing as far as gematria, though, because there's too many things to cover right now. I will save humanity. There's that symbol again, and I'll show you what that is. It's crazy. I am Isis, goddess of love. I am the light. I mean, all this I will save humanity. I mean, all this stuff. It's crazy. And again, my light banishes all darkness. I am here. Oh, so many things. It's crazy. Now I'm going to deal with the gematria on this straight away. On this one right here, this is one example, because I don't want to cover every single one. I don't want this to be a long video. My light banishes all darkness. My light banish all darkness. It doesn't say banishes, or my light. See, it's not grammatically correct, because that's gematria usually. Okay, so we have 113, 311, 7 plus 8 is 15, 115, 5, 2 is 1 and 1. And then we have, this one is 5-8. You can look at it a few different ways, but it's really 5-8. And then 117, as you can see right there. So there it is. And it's in a lot of these. It's just crazy. And then it gets to be crazy because there's a lot that are repetitive. And if you add them in a certain way, it gets these codes again. And I'm not going to get into all that. Like I said, I don't want to keep repeating. I did enough gematria for me and for you probably. And Gilbert Gottfried and everything is enough. I don't want to explain everything like that. It gets kind of old after a while. Okay. So then check this out. So there's a main spot on one of the main pillars. It says, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. I am the Savior. I'm all this stuff. It's crazy. And then right here is what I want to direct your attention to. Game on 7-Eleven. When I saw that last year, and it didn't completely come together. But when I saw, the Lord led me to this again, look at some of my old stuff and also some other things that He was telling me about with GG or 7-7. When I saw that, I knew that this has got to be a game on 7-Eleven. It's crazy. So what this is this is a 7-Eleven. This symbol right here where they have sideways, all kinds of, it's a 7-Eleven upside down and right side up and upside down and backwards. Okay, and this ends up making a portal. See that? It's almost like you almost go like that. It's like, it's a portal, right? And because that's when the portal is going to open. That's a portal, and that just shows you what it looks like right here. Okay, game on 7-Eleven. That's what it's showing. Okay, and that's what it's pointing to. And a lot of these codes, a lot of these, the words and stuff add up to 7-Eleven. As I showed you, with just one phrase. I'll banish the darkness. I mean, give me a break. This is just crazy. Okay, and then so here we go again. Georgia Guidestones is 7-7. It's 9-11 on 7-7, and 7-7 is 7 times 11 or 77. Game on. Game on. Are you kidding me? Even game on. Look up that in gematria. Go to gematrinator.com. Look up game on, and you'll see 5-5, 3-3. 5-5 again is 5 times 11. 3-3 is 3 times 11. Just in this, just the base ciphers and other things. It's really crazy. Okay, and I want to hit this last bit here. This is crazy. So I showed you this. I want to touch on something. So remember I said Guidestones right here, Highway 77, which is Hartwell Highway. It just so happens, just another random coincidence that Highway 77 is called Hartwell Highway, and Hartwell in reverse ordinal is 117. That's just a massive coincidence. And then Hartwell Highway is 117. Are you kidding me? See, they pick these words perfectly so they're not only singular, they can be added to other phrases, and the demonic that's involved in all this. And now they even use AI probably more than ever. The average, Mason and all that stuff, they use AI to figure out all these codes, but a lot of them still use rituals and seances and stuff and get all this information from demons, because that's ultimately where it comes from, because they can't think of this stuff. Some of this stuff is so intricate, especially when you have to mesh it together with all this media and all these different signaling from so many different sources. I mean, they'll work locally with the people there to call this that name and this thing, and they act like, oh, this guy just showed up and he's it's just some guy out of nowhere, RC Christian, and he just had these commissioned and done. No, they're working with the city and the county and all this stuff, and to put that in that right spot, and I guarantee you it's on ley lines or something. It's on the right spot, and I've shown even in my decode I did before how it's exactly a certain amount of distance from different major events, like a certain amount of distance from Hawaii, even Kilauea, from when this is going to happen. And I'm not going to get into that right now. I mean, all kinds of stuff from 9/11 or 11 September, the 11th of September was. I should say it that way. 11th of September was, and all this stuff. It's crazy. So I'm going to leave it at that, and hopefully this wasn't as long as it could have been, I guess. Yeah, not as long as it could have been, I guess. But that's what it is. So thank you for watching, and hopefully you got something out of this. This is amazing. We'll see what happens. I mean, we'll watch this time when it gets here, but watch for some crazy things going on this month. We got some crazy riot stuff going on. Things are taking over now. I mean, if you think that this is going to ever go back to normal, you're crazy. I mean, you don't really see, you don't see what's really going on. This is getting worse and worse. It will continue to get worse, like labor pains on a pregnant woman. It'll get more intense. This month's going to be crazy, and July is going to be off the charts. Off the charts. And I want to say also, what I showed on iPad Goat, the barbed wire is showing it was showing initially from Trump a lockdown, and then we're seeing another kind of lockdown, another kind of control, and that's coming. And it's going to be, and I'm saying also that it's going to, it looks like from that barbed wire, it looks like in September is when it shows it going around the body of this figure. And that's when I believe for sure by then, and again, that's flu season and everything, that's when the CV things are going to just skyrocket and be far worse and kill a lot of people. But July is when we want to look at, what I'm looking at right now. So I'll just leave it at that. and I hope you're blessed. And I just encourage you to get to know Jesus, because he's the one that gave me this stuff. He's the one that gives you life and peace and joy and insight on a lot of things in life. And without him, none of us are making out of it alive, pretty much. Without him, I mean, and even if you die, where are you going? Where are you going? I know exactly where I'm going. People have said, oh, you're a fear monger and stuff. No, I'm warning. I have no fear. I have absolutely no fear whatsoever. I know where I'm going. I know whose I am. Everything. I have no fear about any of this stuff. So I encourage you to do the same and put your whole trust, because the things to trust in are going away. They're melting away. Put your trust in him and you will not be dissatisfied. I guarantee it. There's so much that's coming that is going to be just devastating to people, devastating. So do it right now while you can. So this is Exalted Lamb 1, over and out.